to the Mindfulness Clinic. If you are joining us today and you already know what mindfulness is, then hopefully you will receive a positive experience from today. If you're joining us for the first time and you don't quite know what mindfulness is, then please stay along with us on this journey tonight, where we uncover some of the secrets and underpinnings of mindfulness, and we pass along some important information that can help you in your day-to-day life during times when you might not feel at your best. So before we talk about what is mindfulness, I'm just gonna jump right in and tell you that some people are born happy. Some lucky souls really are born with brighter outlooks than others. They simply see beauty and opportunity, where others hone in on flaws and danger. But those with a more ominous orientation can alter their outlook, at least to a point, okay? They can learn to internally challenge their fearful thoughts and negative assumptions. Things like, she thinks I'm an idiot, I'm gonna get fired, I'll never be good, never be a good mom. So you'll learn to change these fearful thoughts, or at least, or maybe even eliminate them altogether, really. We're gonna see. Engaging in positive internal dialogue is actually a mark of being mentally healthy. Getting what you deserve does not bring you lasting happiness. You think happiness would arrive if you win the lottery, or would forever fade away if your home were destroyed in a flood, but human beings are remarkably adaptable. After a various period of adjustment, we bounce back to our previous level of happiness, no matter what happens to us. There are some scientifically proven exceptions, notably suffering the unexpected loss of a job or the loss of a spouse. Both events tend to permanently knock people down a notch. Our adaptability works in two directions. Because we are so adaptable, we quickly get used to many of the accomplishments we strive for in life, such as landing the big job or getting married. Soon after we reach a milestone, we start to feel that something is missing. We begin coveting another worldly possession or eyeing a social advancement. But such an approach keeps us tethered to the hedonic, the unpleasant treadmill, where happiness is always just out of reach. One toy or one notch away. It's possible to get off the treadmill entirely by focusing on activities that are dynamic, surprising, and attention-absorbing, and thus less likely to bore us than, say, acquiring shiny stuff or material things. Pain is part of happiness. Happiness is not your reward for accepting pain. It demands that you confront negative feelings head on, without letting them overwhelm you. Popular conceptions of happiness is dangerous because it sets people up for a struggle against reality. They don't acknowledge that real life is full of disappointments, loss, and inconveniences. If you're going to live a rich and meaningful life, you're going to feel a full range of emotions. The point isn't to limit that palette of feelings. After all, negative states cue us into what we value and what we need to change. Grief for a loved one proves how much we cherish our relationship. Frustration with several jobs in a row is a sign that we're in the wrong career. Happiness would be meaningless if not for the sadness. Without the contrast of darkness, there is no light. Mindfulness brings happiness. Mindfulness is a mental state or relaxed awareness of the present moment, marked by openness and curiosity towards your feelings rather than judgments of them. It is a powerful tool for experiencing happiness when practiced regularly. If you bring mindfulness to bear on negative feelings, they lose their impact. Just let them be there, without struggling against them, and you'll eventually feel less anxiety and depression. Don't banish your negative feelings, but don't let them get in the way of you taking productive action either. Happiness lies in the chase. Action towards goals other than happiness makes us happy. Though there is a place of vegging out and reading trashy novels, eating pleasures will never light us up the way mastering a new skill or building something from scratch will. And it's not crossing the finish line that is the most rewarding, it's anticipating and achieving your goal. Working hard toward a goal and making progress to the point of expecting a goal to be realized doesn't just activate positive feelings, it also suppresses negative emotions such as fear and depression. Yes, money buys happiness, at least some money and some happiness. Money does buy happiness, but only up to the point where it enables you to live comfortably. Beyond that, more cash doesn't boost your well-being, but generosity brings true joy. So striking it rich could in fact underwrite your happiness if you were to give your wealth away. Happiness is relative. Whether or not we are keeping up with the Joneses, a nagging thought known as status anxiety, affects how happy we are. Some are more obsessed with status than others, but we're all attuned to how we're doing in life relative to those around us. To stop status worries from gnawing at your happiness, choose your peer group carefully. Owning the smallest mansion in a gated community could make you feel worse than buying the biggest bungalow in a less affluent neighborhood. Options make us miserable. We're constantly making decisions, ranging from what to eat for dinner each night to whom we should marry, not to mention all those flavors of ice cream. We base many of our decisions on whether we think a particular preference will increase our well-being. Intuitively, we seem convinced that the more choices we have, the better off we'll ultimately be. But our world of unlimited opportunity imprisons us more than it makes us happy. It's like a paradox of choice. When you face many possibilities, it leaves us stressed out and less satisfied with whatever we decide. Having too many choices keeps us wondering about all the options that we missed. Oddly enough, when I play video games in today's generation, there are always so many choices, so many options, so many side quests, and I always feel like it's too many choices. Like, no, the old style games, you just go from A to B, and today it's like A, B, and C and all letters of the alphabet times 1 million choices. And of course it's better, it's more fun, it's more engaging and everything, but my core instinct is like, if I choose this, I'm gonna miss this. And I always feel a little like it's very hard for me to make decisions because of that. Happiness is other people. The best piece of advice to come out of the field of psychology is to make strong personal relationships your priority. Good relationships are the buffer against the damaging effects of all life's inevitable letdowns and setbacks. Do your happiness homework. You can increase positive feelings by incorporating a few proven practices into your routine. Express your gratitude towards someone in a letter or in a weekly journal. Visualize the best possible future for yourself once a week, and perform acts of kindness for others on a regular basis to lift your mood in the moment and over time. I generally find that this works really well. Becoming happier takes work, but it may be the most rewarding and fun work that you will ever do. Happiness hinges on your time frame. Feeling happy while you carry out your day-to-day activities may not have so much to do with how satisfied you feel in general. Time skews our perceptions of happiness. Parents look back warmingly on their child's preschool years, for example. But some professors at universities have found that childcare tasks rank very low on what makes people happy, below napping and watching TV. And yet, if you were to step back and evaluate a decade of your life, would a spirited stretch of raising children or a steady stream of dozing off on the couch each day in between soap operas illustrate a happier time? Evaluate your well-being at the macro as well as the micro level to get the most accurate picture of your happiness. You're wrong about what will make you happy, and you're wrong about what made you happy. Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert discovered a deep truth about happiness. Things are almost never as bad or as good as we expect them to be. Your promotion will be quite nice, really, but it won't be a 24-hour parade. Your breakup will be very hard, but also instructive, and maybe even energizing. We are terrible at predicting our future feelings accurately, especially if our predictions are based on our past experiences. The past exists in our memory after all, and memory is not a reliable recording device. We recall beginnings and endings far more intensely than those long middles, whether they were eventful or not. So the horrible beginning of your vacation will lead you astray in deciding the best place to go next year. The best thing you can do is to forego your mental projections. The best predictor of whether you'll enjoy something is whether someone else enjoyed it. So simply ask your friend who went to Mexico with you if you should go there again. Happiness is embracing your natural coping style. Not everyone can put on a happy face. Looking on the bright side isn't always possible for some people, and sometimes it could be counterproductive for some. When you put pressure on people to cope in a way that doesn't fit them, it not only doesn't work, it makes them feel like a failure on top of already feeling bad. So you may not understand the way that somebody deals with something or copes with something, but you can't just tell them to do it your way, because it might actually not be what's best for them, because everybody is so different. The one-size-fits-all approach to managing emotional life is misguided. Defensive pessimism that some anxious people feel can be harnessed to help them get things done, which in turn helps them feel happier. A naturally pessimistic architect, for example, can set low expectations for an upcoming presentation and review all the bad outcomes that she's imagining so that she can prepare carefully and increase her chances of success. Happiness is living your values. If you aren't living according to your values, you won't be happy, no matter how much you are achieving. Some people, however, aren't even sure what their values are. If you're one of them, I have a question for you. Imagine that I could wave a magic wand to ensure that you would have the approval and admiration of everyone on the planet forever. What, in that case, would you choose to do with your life? Once you've answered honestly, you can start taking steps towards your ideal vision of yourself. You can take positive affirmations to your mirror, or you can cut up your own advice books and turn them into a paper mache project. It doesn't matter. As long as you're living consciously, the state of happiness is not really a state at all. It's really just an ongoing personal experiment. just remember that it's not realistic that you're going to be happy all the time. It's not realistic that you're going to have the things that you want all the time. But if you didn't have those sad moments, those days where you just want to do nothing but be sad, you dwell on all the things in your life that make you sad, and all the things you want that you can't have, or the things you want to do that you can't do. Just remember that you need to feel that in order to know what happiness feels like. Sometimes when you're sad or you're not happy, the best thing you can do is do something for somebody else. Because knowing that it made a difference to somebody else is very likely going to make you smile or make you feel better or happy. Thank you everyone for joining us today on this mindful journey. If you enjoyed your experience here and you'd like to learn more about mindfulness, please let me know and come back for another session. Try to implement all these sayings, techniques, words to your daily life. If you're feeling bad, don't try and ignore it. Just let yourself feel it. Let yourself understand what you're feeling and go through it. Be sad about it, cry about it, get mad about it. Don't just ignore it because it's never going to go away. It's never going to be any better, so you just have to feel it. And remember what works best for you. What's the best way for you to deal with things? Because you know it. Whether or not if you do it, you know what it is. So you just have to really believe in yourself, trust in yourself.